Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another yoga stream. We are going to start in about 5 minutes, I think. So, I need to adjust the mic again. I hope you had a good night. I hope you are going to enjoy a little bit of action here. Let me see how it is now. I think... Still going a little bit slower, isn't it? That's so weird. Okay, if you're tuning in right now, we are about to have a yoga stream in about 3 minutes, I think. 3 minutes, and then we will continue. I'm trying to see if I can adjust this sound, but nope. Jaap de Graaf, good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry if the sound is not optimal right now. I'm trying to adjust it, but it's not going the way I want it to. I think we're just gonna leave it here. Okay. Okay, we're gonna start at 8:45, so people have like 2 more minutes to join us, and then we'll start. Okay. Make sure if you have a yoga mat that you, if you want to use, you have a yoga mat, it's easier because you have some grip. Some mats are really, really slippery, and usually with yoga that's very uncomfortable. If you want to use a cushion or a blanket to sit on, or a thick book if you have one, just take that. Okay, sometimes this is very hard to sit like this. So make sure you have something more comfortable that you can sit on. Okay. And we're just going to wait for another minute for people to join. And then we're going to start with a 30-minute yoga class. Just soft hatha flow to wake up the body, wake up the mind. You know, have a good start of the day, basically. Well, if you're just tuning in, good morning. We're gonna do a Hatha class this morning, some soft flow. So that means that we add poses on top of each other, so they move usually quite smoothly from one into the other. And we're gonna start sitting down. So if you can sit on the floor like this, it's no problem. Otherwise, you can use a blanket or a cushion or a book to sit on to make sure you lift your hips a little bit, which usually helps to ease the the tension in your hips, in your knees. And you can also put your legs out straight to the front, no problem. Or bend your knees and put your feet to the back, knees to the front. That way you don't open the hips. Sometimes that's way more easy, but you always have to make sure you can sit on something there, because otherwise you put a lot of pressure on the knees. Just find a pose that works for you, okay? A pose that you can sit comfortably without too much strength or tension needed to keep a straight back. And you can always close your eyes. So you bring your attention inwards to make sure that you don't get distracted by anything you see. If you don't like to keep your eyes open, or to keep your eyes closed, you can open them, of course, and find a spot in front of you, maybe on the ground or in your yoga mat, that you can focus on. Something that doesn't move, that doesn't acquire your attention too much, but just a point to stare at, so that your attention goes inwards. You can just take a moment to sit and to feel, and maybe just get out of bed. Maybe you already did some hours of work this morning. And it's important for yourself to realize if you can feel how you feel, basically. So can you observe maybe some physical sensations in your body? Maybe there is tingling, warmth, cold, maybe even pain, discomfort, or just a very comfortable, warm feeling. Make sure for yourself that you don't judge yourself, okay? So there's no right or wrong here. It's just about observing, knowing what you're going to work with for the next 30 minutes. Take into account if you have any injuries, disabilities. And to make sure you don't push your boundaries. And take a few more deep breaths here, just to relax the body a little bit, to sink into your place, basically. Kind of prepare yourself for 30 minutes of yoga and anything else, and there's usually a lot of things going on at the same time, but it can wait. It will still be there 30 minutes from now. This time is just for you. You can slowly open your eyes. Take your time. And then you can bring your hands on both sides of your body with the tips of the fingers on the ground. Okay, so stretch your arms out, touch the ground. And when you breathe in, you can bring them all the way up. All the way up. You can stretch yourself out as far as you like. And when you breathe out, you can bring them down, both hands in front of your heart. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other way back. When you breathe in, bring them back up. Stretch yourself out, and when you breathe out, bring them back down. Very good. We're going to do the same thing. On your own pace, your own breathing rhythm. In, bring them up. Out, bring them down. Other way around. Breathe in. Up. And out, all the way down. Okay. One more time. Breathe in, keep the belly relaxed, and out. That way the breathing can go all the way down to the belly. In, and all the way back out. Very good. You can keep the right fingertips on the floor, and you can bring the left hand up. And then slowly you can put your right hand on the floor, and you can bend over slightly towards the right. Keep your hips on the ground, so your sitting bones are on the ground. And then you can stretch out. Maybe upwards is enough. Maybe you want to go slightly towards the right. Keep on breathing. Very important to keep your breath soft and relaxed. And when you breathe in, come back up. Arms down. Next breath in, all the way towards the other side. All the way towards the left. And this is just a warm-up pose, so don't overstretch it. Keep a nice stretch, especially here on the side. Make sure it's comfortable. Okay, one more breath. And when you breathe in, come up. Breathe out, bring them back down. Very good. Other side. In goes up and out. Bend as far as you like. And keep the sternum up. So you don't fall forward, but you keep a straight line basically towards the side. Again, breathe in, come up. Breathe out, down. One more time towards the other side. Breathe in and over. And maybe you notice the second time it's already easier. If you don't overstretch the first time, the second time is easier because your body's a little bit more warmed up. If you overstretch, it's gonna hurt. So keep that in mind. Okay. Breathe in, come up, and breathe out, back down. Okay. If you want, you can just roll your shoulders a little bit, maybe wiggle if there's any kind of movement you feel like making. You can always do that in between the poses to make sure you don't hold tension from the pose. Okay, then we're going to come to all fours. If you want, you can just roll over on hands and feet, or hands and knees, I'm sorry. I always do a lot of things on my fists because I have a wrist problem, but you can easily just keep your hands flat on the floor. There's no rule. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Okay, so you make a very strong pose here, very balanced. And then you can curl both toes under. Keep them firmly on the ground and then slowly activate your tummy muscles. Keep the back straight and then slowly lift both knees off the floor. So the toes are holding, the hands are on the floor, the knees are slightly off the floor. Activate your belly muscles. Keep the back straight, knees lifted. Try to keep the shoulders over the hands so that you don't go forward. You keep them in line. Keep breathing, one more minute. Sorry, not a minute, a few seconds. And when you breathe out, slowly bring the knees back down. Very good. Take a deep breath. Okay. You can bring both hands, if you don't have them on the floor, bring them firmly on the floor. You can stretch the fingers a little bit. So you can feel all 5 and all 10 fingers firmly on the floor. Not only the wrists, but all the fingertips as well. Keep the toes curled under. And then slowly move towards the downward facing dog, which means you bring your hips up towards the ceiling. You can walk your knees a little bit if you want, which means you kind of bend them one after the other, just to stretch out the back of your legs a little bit. Keep the weight going towards the feet, so stretch out your arms. And then you can slowly walk or step to the front of your mat. Try to keep your feet, about hip width apart. And you can keep hanging here. You can kind of dangle here. You can keep your knees slightly bended and just hang. Relax the head. Keep the fingertips on the floor, or if you're just hanging above the floor, it's fine. You can cross your arms if you feel like more pressure on the back. If you want, you can move here as well. So you can move your knees one by one, if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good to dangle, if you have high blood pressure, please come up. You can just roll yourself back up. When you breathe in, bring your navel kind of up and towards the back, so you slowly roll yourself to a standing position. Keep your head and your shoulders relaxed until you're completely up. And after that you can just wiggle. Maybe you want to shake something, wiggle something, everything is fine. Just keep wiggling. Okay. Take a few breaths here. Okay, this is Tadasana. It's kind of the base from where all the other poses come from. Take a few breaths. Keep here the belly still relaxed if you can. So don't hold yourself too much in the pose. Okay, we're going to go to a side stretch. You can keep your feet together or you can keep them a little bit wider. Just make sure for yourself that you feel you're standing comfortably and strong. Both feet, and try to distribute the weight evenly, okay? So as much on the right as on the left. Much to the front as to the back. You feel in balance. And then when you breathe in, bring your right hand up and try to make right and left evenly strong, evenly engaged. When you breathe out, you slightly bend over to the left. Just again, we did as we did with the pose sitting down, as far as you like, but make sure you can still breathe easily. If you feel the breathing is getting harder or it's becoming more higher, make the pose a little bit easier, okay? And try to keep the weight on both feet. Keep breathing. When your next breath in, slowly come back up. When you breathe out, relax. And we're going to do the other side. So when you breathe in, bring the left hand up. And when you breathe out, a side bend to the right. Both arms, try to equally engage them in the pose. So make your right arm just as strong as your left one. Okay, so you're also balanced in strength and in energy, and not only balanced as in you don't fall to the floor, which is also very important. Okay, breathe in, come back up, and breathe out, relax. Very good. Okay. And you can come to the front of your mat if you're not there yet. You can bring your hands on your hips, on your side. Again, you can bring your feet out a little bit if you want, or bring them together. That's both fine. Bend the knees a little bit so you have room to bend in a few seconds. Keep a straight back and try to come forward with that straight back from the hips. And if you keep the knees bent, it's easier for the lower back to bend. You can come forward horizontally, or you can make it easier, come halfway. It's both fine, whatever feels good for you. Keep on breathing. And if you want to, you can bring your arms to the sides. Otherwise, keep them on the hips. Then we're going to make a twist. You can make a twist, bring your right arm up, your left arm slightly down. Not too much. Keep your arms long. So don't try to let one arm fall and one arm bring one arm up. You try to keep them in line with your body. So you're twisting from the spine. And your arms just come along. We're going to do the same thing towards the other side. When you breathe in, come back to the middle, come back to center. Again, you can keep your hands on your hips if you like. And when you breathe out, slowly come towards the other side. Right arm goes down, left arm goes up. Keep on breathing. And you can lift your torso if it's too difficult. That's okay. So make it a comfortable pose. Back to center. And when you breathe in, slowly, slowly come back up. Release the arms. And in Tadasana, take a few breaths. Okay? Slowly in. All the way out. One more. All the way in. All the way out. Sometimes it's only possible after a pose to feel what it did. Sometimes in a pose you're too busy, trying to feel what you should do and how it should work. And then afterwards you can feel, hey, that did something, maybe in your back or your tummy, your shoulders, anywhere. You don't have to do anything with it. Try to notice it, okay? Then we're going to take a step back with the right. So bring your weight towards the left. Slowly bend the left knee so you can stretch out the right one. And once your feet touches the ground, you can bring the weight along. So try to keep the weight evenly distributed between the front and back foot. You can bend the front knee. The heel of the right foot is off the ground. Okay? So we're having a high lunge here. If it's difficult for you to keep the balance, bring your feet a little bit wider apart, which means you bring the left one a bit more to the left and the right one a bit more to the right. That way you have a little bit more ground for your balance. Okay, so it's just a trick to make it a little bit more stable if you feel very, very wobbly here. Okay, try to activate your muscles, which means you activate your core, your hips, your legs. You can bring your hands in front of your heart and just breathe. Slowly in and out. Very good. Okay, when you breathe out, try to bring both hands towards the floor. And you can make the step a bit bigger if you like. And you can stretch out the front leg. Just as far as you want to, okay? So you don't have to stretch it all the way. Just a little bit more stretch is fine. Try to keep on breathing. From here, try to bend the front leg again. Both hands firmly on the ground. We're going to go to a high plank. So you bring the front foot all the way to the back. 2 feet in the back, 2 hands in front. Try to make a plank, which is kind of the word kind of speaks for itself. Shoulders above your hands. One line towards your feet. Keep on breathing. Use your muscles. You're doing great. Okay. When you breathe out, bring yourself all the way back to a downward facing dog again. So you push your hips all the way up and towards the back. You can bend the knees again, which makes it easier to tilt your pelvis. So you make it feels like making a hollow back. That way you can bring the weight more and more towards the feet. Keep on breathing. You're doing great. Okay, when you breathe in, walk or step back to the front of your mat. Take your time. Both feet in front of you. Both hands. And roll yourself back up. Bend your knees. Take your time. Slowly roll up to standing into Tadasana again. And here you can breathe, okay? So take a moment again. Breathe in. All the way out. One more time. All the way in. All the way out. Very good. Give yourself a breather every time you need one, okay? It's also in between poses if you feel, this is going too fast or it's too hard for me. Take a breather. Keep it light, keep it easy, keep it fun for yourself. Even if it's hard, it can still be fun, okay? So don't make this a torture for yourself. It's supposed to be light. And sometimes you just have to adjust. And that's okay. We're going to do the other side. So you're going to bring the left foot back. Bend the right knee. So you can stretch out the left foot all the way to the back until you feel your toes touching the mat. And then you bring the weight along. Again, heel of the ground. Front knee slightly bended. Activate your muscles. So try to make a strong high lunge. You can bring your hands in front of your heart. Try to keep breathing. And sometimes, in this pose, for example, you need your tummy muscles, okay? So you cannot completely let go of the belly. So the breathing will always change when you activate your muscles. But you can still feel that there is room for the diaphragm to sink a little bit, because that's what happens, right? If you relax the belly, you breathe in, diaphragm goes down a little bit, your lungs simply have more room to expand. And that's why it feels you're breathing into the belly. Okay. When you breathe out, we're going to pyramid again. So bring your hands towards the ground. If you want to, make your step a little bit bigger. Stretch the front leg as far as you like. Keep on breathing. Bring your hands, if you have your hands on the ground or just your fingertips, it helps. You have an extra balancing point. You can make the neck and the back long. If you want to, you can relax them. Okay, you can relax them onto the front leg. That's okay. One more breath here. And then we're going to go into high plank. So you can bend the front knee, hands firmly on the ground, shoulder width apart, front leg towards the back. Make one line in the body. And keep breathing again. I keep on saying that because it's so important and it's so easily to forget, because your mind is focused on what you're doing, how it's supposed to do that, and then the breathing goes away. So keep focusing on that. Okay, we're going to go again into downward facing dog. Hands on the ground, stretch out the fingers a little bit. Bend the knees. And in this downward facing dog, which is actually from original, it's resting pose, really. Try to relax the belly in this pose. That way the breathing can easily go towards the belly. Try to relax your toes and kind of sink into your heels. That way the weight goes even more towards the feet and less towards the hands. And then slowly walk or step towards the front. Once you're there, roll yourself up slowly. Take your time. And again, in Tadasana, take a breath. In and all the way out. One more time. Try to focus on your body. Try to focus on what you might notice. Things that happen during a pose or things that you might just notice right now. Okay. And then slowly come to a sitting position. So you can just lower yourself to the ground. You can bring your... Oh, I need to adjust my mic. Okay, that's a challenge. You can come all the way to your back. Try to keep your feet on the floor and walk them towards your body a little bit. You can widen your feet slightly if you, in the pose, just in a second. If your knees fall outwards, just bring your feet more outwards, so your knees go up straight. And you can keep your hands on the floor. Palms of the hands touching the mat. And you can pull your navel in. And you feel maybe that your pelvis tilts slightly to the front when you bring the navel in and towards the back. So the lower back is completely on the floor. There's no hollow room anymore. Okay, when you breathe out, push your pelvis, your hips, your lower back off the floor. Okay, so you make a line from your knees towards your shoulders, and you can slightly walk your shoulder blades towards each other on the floor, so you're standing more on your shoulders instead of on your spine. Okay, this might be a difficult pose or a tough one for the muscles around the hips. Try to activate your feet. So pay some attention to your feet. Bring them firmly on the floor. It helps to activate the rest of your body, so it can help with the strength for the pose. So hands firmly on the floor, shoulders firmly on the floor. Let the entire body help with the pose. And again, keep on breathing. If you feel halfway it's getting too much, just lower yourself back down. Take a few breaths. You can always come back up. So you don't have to keep holding the pose. If you want to, sure. It's not a necessity. And when you breathe out, slowly, slowly, bring yourself back down. Bring your shoulders out from under you. Bring your entire back on the floor. Relax. Keep on breathing. So now we're taking those 1 or 2 deep breaths lying down on the floor instead of standing in Tadasana. And we're going to go to a lying twist. So a twist while lying on our backs. You can bring your knees up towards your chest. Pull them in. And then you can bring your knees to the right. I'm going to adjust my mic again, otherwise I'm laying on it. So from those knees up, bring them down towards the right, towards the ground. You can bring your right hand on your knees or just on the floor, whatever you feel is comfortable for you. Try to make sure your left shoulder stays on the ground, so you don't let it move along up and towards the right. If so, you can use your blanket or your pillow in between your knees. That will hold off the tension from your left shoulder. And you can bring your left hand out. Just let it lay on the floor like this. Okay. You can try to relax in this pose. Okay, so you can try to relax your legs, your feet, your hips, your belly, your shoulders, your arms. In the same way you distribute the strength and the weight in the active poses, you try to distribute the relaxation, the release of tension as well, in a pose like this. So no holdings, just relax. You're doing very good. We're almost there. Half an hour goes so fast. Okay, we're going to switch sides. You can keep your feet on the ground, slowly bring your knees up. And we're moving towards the left. You can always bring your hips slightly to the right, then lift your knees and then bring them to the left. You have a deeper twist in the lower back, but only if that feels good for you. Okay. Right hand goes out, let it relax. The more you bring it towards your body, the lesser strength you will need in your shoulder, lesser tension you feel. If you bring it more up, you'll feel it will be more heavy on the muscles in the chest. And it's okay, if you want a more deeper stretch, you can always do so. But very important is to keep it comfortable. Or comfortable is maybe not the right word. It can be slightly uncomfortable, that's okay. But not painful, that's very important, not to keep it, not to make it painful for yourself. Okay. Just take a few breaths here. Take your time. And again, slowly come up. Knees up, feet on the floor. You can bring both hands out, palms facing the ceiling, and then one by one you can stretch your legs. Relax the feet, the hands, the hips, into Shavasana. Final pose, final relaxation, resting pose. To bring the body back to a neutral energy, a neutral position. And as soon as the body relaxes, the mind thinks, oh, this is vacation, and it leaves. It will wander, it will bring you to other places, other times, other issues. And sometimes it's a real challenge to keep the mind with the pose. So every time you feel you wander, just bring yourself back. Try to feel your body laying on the ground, Try to feel the breathing. Notice if you're really relaxed or there's some tension you didn't see that you can let go of laying here. Slow, easy breaths. You don't have to do anything, just try to follow them. Feel how your body can relax. Take a few breaths here, completely engaging in that softness, in the heaviness of your body. And then take a deep breath, 1 or 2 or more. Activate the systems again. If you want to, you can stretch out all the way. Make yourself long. Maybe you want to roll yourself a little bit. Or just roll your ankles, your wrists, your head, whatever you need. And you can roll onto your right side. And slowly from there, push yourself back up. Take your time. There's no hurry. Always do everything in your own pace. And once you're there, take that sitting position again. If you want, you can bring your hands into Chin Mudra or just let them relax on your legs, on your knees. But in that position you're sitting in right now, try to take another moment to reflect, to let things pass by, to feel whatever happened in those 30 minutes that you might want to remember. You know, maybe there's an intention from here that you want to take into your day. Maybe there was a feeling, a moment, a thought you want to bring along. And try to observe yourself, your body and your mind, without being judgmental towards what you notice. Everything is okay. And you can bring your hands together in front of your heart. And you can thank yourself. You showed up, you were here to pay attention, awareness towards yourself, towards your body, your mind, your soul. Namaste. I want to thank you a lot for joining me in this third live yoga session with me. If you have any questions, any feedback, anything you just want to share with me, you can do that in the chat or you can leave something in the comments afterwards. All live videos will of course be shared on YouTube. If you have any requests on what to do in a yoga class, poses or flows, anything, just let me know and I'll work with it. And I hope, it's going to come a little bit closer, you're going to have a really great morning, a really great day. If there's any leftover from last day's yoga class, please let me know. I'm always curious to know how it felt for you. Hi Freddie, hi Kate, good to see you. Good morning. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you if you want tomorrow. We're gonna have another yoga class tomorrow at 5 p.m. Amsterdam time. It's gonna be more of a relaxation class, so it's more like the first live class we did on Tuesday. And it will be more relaxed and easygoing, more yin yoga poses to restore and to get some more new, fresh energy. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.